The latest model from RZE is the Aspirare, and this watch is special for one reason especially, and that would be the size. Most of RZE's watches up to this point have been 40 millimeters and below, and this new titanium diver is 44 millimeters. Now I know, there are probably some out there yelling at their screens right now, but there are still people out there who would like a bigger watch, myself included, and RZE listened, and this is the Aspirare. Beyond the size, this new model is all titanium, has interchangeable bezels if you want to switch up the look occasionally, and of course, as all RZE watches, it has a hard coating to protect it from scratches, and a new quick extension clasp system. Pricing is $650 for either the black or white dial models, and there was a blue meteorite version, but that one is currently sold out. So for all you big wrist fellows out there looking for a brand to do a watch that isn't 38 millimeters, here it is, and I will discuss it all in this review. The Aspirare has a lot of great features to talk about, and I will put them all on the screen here shortly, but I will start out this review with the size. Yes, this is a larger watch at 44 millimeters and a lug to lug of 53 millimeters. Like the Victorinox Journey I recently reviewed, I saw some comments saying why such a large lug to lug? That is ridiculous. Now, I have to be honest, this made me chuckle a little bit. And the reason being is 10 years ago, the majority of men's watches, especially micro brands, were still being made in that 43 to 46 millimeter range. The last few years, we have seen a trend towards smaller watches, and I have no problem with that because I think it's great if you want a smaller watch for whatever reason, whether you just prefer them or you have a smaller wrist. But people forget, there are guys out there who like a larger watch, guys with larger wrists who just can't pull off a 38 millimeter. And for those guys, RZE has answered those requests for a larger watch. Now, on my 7.5 inch, 19.05 centimeter wrist, this size is fine. I have no trouble wearing it, and of course with this watch being all titanium, it's very lightweight. If you have a small wrist, yeah, this probably isn't the watch for you, and maybe RZE will make a smaller version of this model, but if not, they have a lot of others that will fit your wrist. RZE always seems to use German watches as their inspiration for their design, and I would say this one applies here with this new model. I definitely see Sin or Zin, how you want to pronounce it there, but I also feel the case design reminds me of the Seiko Sumo. I love this case design, it's very angular, and it's aesthetically a great looking case, but it also wears comfortably on the wrist. The crown is in a great place, and the entire case is blasted titanium with the Ultra Hex coating as RZE calls it. The dial is very simple and clean, large hour and minute hands, large applied indices, including what I feel looks like a coffin for the 12 o'clock indice and a date wheel at the 6 o'clock. The dial texture is one we have seen from RZE before, that gravel texture, which I do like, though I wonder how this would look with a matte or sunburst style dial. Before we move on to the case back and bracelet, let's talk interchangeable bezels. And let me just say, this is one area that I do have a problem with. Switching out the bezels is not as easy as I hoped it would be, as this is not a pop-off bezel and just put the other one on. Initially, I thought it was, as I had not looked at the all-titanium bezel yet, and I just took a slim knife and popped the bezel right off. Well, you can do that, but the internals are not on the inside of the alternate bezel. So the actual way to do it is via these tiny screws. These extremely tiny screws. I mean, these are super small. Now I have them in the bag here. I'm not taking them out of the bag because I'm going to lose them. But I took a picture, take a look at it, of the screw in my hand. And you can see just how tiny they are. Now, what does that all mean? Well, it's a pain to remove them and take these tiny screws and put them into the new bezel, line it all up and screw them in. Is it doable? Of course it is. And you get 3 extra screws in your travel pouch with this watch, but do it over a table, not near a carpet, and be very careful not to drop it, or I'm telling you, it will be gone forever. Now, with that said, I love the look of the bezel. It, along with the crown, are very easy to grasp and use. This watch uses the Miyota 9015, pretty common at this point. And on this example, I have experienced nothing out of the ordinary. The bracelet is a newer design for RZE, and I really dig this look. I can't remember if I've seen one similar. Maybe I have, but it does look like something RZE came up with. But again, I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments. Regardless, it's a very different and great look, and it matches up well with this watch design. And yes, this new clasp and the quick on-the-fly extension works as it should, and it looks nice as well. Sliding out the extension, just kind of cock out the bracelet, and it just pulls right out and then locks back into place. And all you see is bracelet link. And for the links themselves, screws are used for easy sizing. Just remember to use some Loctite once you remove the links, as these screws tend to back out otherwise. And lastly, we have the lume, and well, as usual, RZE made a watch that looks amazing in the dark. Dual colored lume, slathered all over the dial and bezel, and it not only looks bright, but it does last quite a few hours. I had no trouble seeing it 6 hours later after I went to bed in the pitch black dark. With the exception of how you have to switch the bezels, I really love this new model. It's a larger size for sure, but I love how it looks and feels. It's super lightweight, and even though I don't think Ultra Hex or any of these hard coatings means you can go out and never worry about a scratch, don't compare it to, like, the Sin Steel, because it's not, but it does give an extra layer of scratch resistance, so it should look newer longer. This is a damn good looking, simple and clean dive model, and overall it is made very well. Like I said, who knows if they will make a smaller model at some point, but for now, those of you who keep yelling for a bigger watch, here is a damn good one. If you want to see more, RZE's website is linked in the description, as well as a link to my written review. Want to see more of our videos? There is a link down in the description. It helps out the channel. Click any of the tagged products in this video, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And don't forget to leave a comment. It lets the algorithm know that not only do you like this video, but you want to interact, and this greatly helps out the channel. This is Don Evans from Watch Report. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.